Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about Doordash Driver is guardian angel after saving dying woman's life. I think with all of the craziness that's been happening in the gig economy with all these gig companies and all of the bad news that we end up hearing, I don't think we get enough good news. We don't get enough light shined on the good side of DoorDash to where we are seen as anything less than tip pandering pansies or whatever they want to call us. But today we're going to change that. We're going to shine some light on this DoorDash driver that literally saved a person's life. We're going to go over what happened, see what they have to say about this, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. A DoorDash driver is being hailed a hero after she leapt into action to save an unconscious customer. Sophia Furtado, 26, was delivering a pizza to Karen Herbert Sullivan and preparing to end her shift in February when, according to NBC 10, she found Sullivan unconscious and bleeding on the front steps of her Massachusetts home. Yikes. Talk about help by falling and I can't get up levels of scary there. I would be concerned if I just walked up to somebody's home and I see somebody bleeding on the steps of their freaking house. And talk about right place, right time levels of convenience there, because if she was running late even at all, who knows where Karen would be at this point. Furtado, who had EMT training but stopped pursuing the career, jumped into action and managed to ruse Sullivan's husband, Robert, from his nap. So Robert's just chilling out inside taking a nap, and his wife ends up falling outside. This really shines some light onto the concept of where you have a heart attack and where you have an accident means so much these days, because if nobody knows if you've fallen, who knows who's gonna do anything about it to help you. I immediately freaked out, so I go into the house and go get her husband. I said, your wife is at the bottom of the steps and bleeding really badly. I am shocked. Well, first off, if this person didn't save her life and if she just fell and it was no big deal, I think that person would be seen so much differently, because at that point it's breaking and entering, and it would be DoorDash driver is a terrible human being, broke and entered into someone's house and ended up arrested. She did the right thing. But that being said, that makes me question, in the event that this was another DoorDash driver with no EMT experience and is concerned to not have their account deactivated, would they help this person? Because I'll tell you what, if it were me, I would not rush inside if I didn't absolutely have permission to go in there. You know what I'm saying? This girl's a better person than I in that room. I'm holding her head, trying to hold C-spine because I know she fell hard and I didn't want her, God forbid, later down the road to be paralyzed. Again, this is where that EMT experience really kicks in, because this is beyond my understanding. Furtado managed to direct her husband to call 911 and find a few items that she said would be essential to help save his wife. She advised Robert what materials she needed. Fairhaven police officer Jillian Jodin told Today Food in an email. Robert was emotional as his wife was not responding. I mean, would you be able to keep it together? The person I committed my everything to is literally on the ground bleeding because I took a nap. First of all, he's probably blaming himself for taking a nap. Second, he's probably concerned about his future or whatever arguments or whatever nonsense they've probably had prior to this incident happening. And three, he's trusting a DoorDash driver. Most people don't look at DoorDash drivers as people who have the expertise in order to help save a life. They just see DoorDash driver and think, oh, DoorDash driver, and think very little of us. Thank God she had the expertise she did. Officer Jodine and her partner arrived at the scene and were able to help Furtado. At the moment, Sophia became part of our team to aid Karen. I asked her if it was possible to keep stabilizing Karen's neck to help keep her spine safe. Her answer was, I'm not going anywhere, Jodine told Today in an email. And that's another thing. Most drivers would be like, hey, look, I'm done. I got the cops here. I did everything I could. I'm out of here. And then they would would continue earning throughout the day because the amount of money they make is not based on time. It's based on the work they actually do. She ended up losing money here, but she did the unselfish thing and kept staying by her side anyway. Through their combined efforts, both police officers and Furtado managed to stabilize Sullivan. Doctors later revealed that Sullivan had suffered from 2 severe brain bleeds and that if no action had been taken, she would have died. So if it was literally any other DoorDash driver, she would have died. That is literally what I'm hearing here. Sullivan was hospitalized for 3 weeks after surgery. I don't know how she wouldn't be hospitalized after that. She was bleeding on the ground. She was my guardian angel, says Sullivan. If I didn't have her, I'd probably be dead. Furtado received an award from the Fairhaven Police Department and $1,000 educational grant from DoorDash for her dedication to her community. A local EMT school awarded Furtado a $1,000 scholarship should she decide to pursue a career as an EMT later in life. So the police gave her a piece of paper. DoorDash gave her an educational grant, and a local EMT school gave her a $1,000 scholarship for that particular school. I'll tell you what, if this didn't make as much news as it did, DoorDash would have just said nah. They would have given you a pat on the back and a walk home. That's pretty much what had happened here. Although, you know what? She got $2,000 in education money and a piece of paper from police. Good for her. I like that. People actually getting recognized for doing something good. That never happens anymore. I actually wanted to be an EMT, but unfortunately with kids and life took its own course. Furtado told NBC 10, I had to make that sacrifice. Since the incident, Sullivan and Furtado have built a friendship and bond and plan to stay in touch. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. I think this DoorDash driver was in a very unique position to utilize skills that she had no opportunity to use whatsoever prior to that. If it was any other driver, she probably would have done. Guardian angel is an understatement for what happened here. This was too perfect, in my opinion. And again, I'm not putting it down in any way. I'm saying if I was in her position, I don't know if I would be able to achieve the same thing, to be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't have known what to do with her spine. I would have just called 911 right away. I wouldn't have even tried to reach Robert in his house or anything like that. I would just see, oh, bleeding person on the front door, and then have a squeamish attack because I would see blood. And this is getting oddly personal, but I would have a squeamish attack because, oh my God, there's a bleeding lady in front of this place. I would call 911, and as soon as the cops would arrive, I would take my leave. I really hope she could take the $2,000 and just put it in her bank account, because she probably lost money throughout the day because of that. And as far as the Fairhaven Police Department just giving her a piece of paper, I mean, it's nice to say the least, but I don't know if I would be doing that personally, to be honest with you. I'm actually impressed that the police department ended up asking her to stick around. I feel like they would have more trained people on that subject, but I guess that's too much to expect from law enforcement. And at this point, to Sophia Furtado from, I think, the entire gig community, thank you for shedding a bit of light to what has been a challenging period of time for gig workers everywhere. We could all use some good news every now and then. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.